A few weeks ago, I had shared with you how to get yourself a free QuickServe account. I hope that you took advantage of that and went and set one up. And tonight I want to show you how to use the fault analyzer that is built inside of one of the areas on the QuickServe site. And I'm going to show you how to find that and how to use it. And when you first start out troubleshooting and you have multiple faults, that's a wonderful tool because there's primary faults, secondary faults, faults that are there because of other faults. They're called related faults. So if you start troubleshooting the wrong fault, then you're going to go the wrong direction. You can end up making the wrong repair. So we're going to take a quick look. And what I did is I just typed some random fault numbers off the top of my head that I knew in there. And then the analyzer came back, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think it came back with the direction that it did come back with for the troubleshooting. So let's take a look at that. And this is something that's nice to use when you end up with a lot of fault codes when you open up the fault code screen. So let's take a look. It's always a real treat when your fault screen opens up and this is what you see. So there's a lot going on this screen in terms of faults. And we'll talk about this at another time. I just brought this up to show you that if you've got a bunch of faults, the fault analyzer will really be your friend. Now, I didn't use these particular faults in the fault analyzer. I put some other ones in, but this just gives you an idea of when you can use that tool. So once you log into QuickServe, the first thing you're going to do is go up by number 1 in that white block and type in your engine's 8-digit serial number. And then you're going to click on that little sideways caret, which refreshes the page, that number 2. And then you're going to click on the red bar that says service up where number 3 is. And that's going to move you to the service tab. And this is what it looks like. And then you're going to click on the tab that says fault code search. By default, usually the manuals tab up in the top left is the one that you see. So you're going to click on fault code search. And then there's sub tabs. You've got engine fault code analyzer, and that's where you want to be. So you'll click on that. But the other two that I'll mention is next to it on the right is engine fault code search. Once the analyzer tells you which one you're going to start searching for or troubleshoot first, just click on search, type that number in, hit search. It'll pull up the fault troubleshooting for you. Very nice. And the tab on the right, if you've got a truck that gives you the SPN FMI numbers, you can type those in there and it will convert that to the Cummins fault code. And then you can go use the search box to pull up the troubleshooting for the fault. So everything you need is right there. Very nice. So here I've clicked on the Engine Fault Code Analyzer tab and I typed in 4 random fault codes. And as you type them in on the right, it will actually describe what the fault code, the general description is. And just so you know, the top 2 are levels of plugging in as you go through your after treatment when it's filling up with soot. And the third one down is an EGR position fault. And the bottom one is 3375 is the engine is regenning way too frequently. So let's see what the analyzer tells us we should be looking at first. And so here you can see what the analyzer told us to troubleshoot. 1922 first, and then 3375 second. And then the related fault codes to the right, it would have you do those later. I won't go into it very deep because we're not talking about the faults in this case, but the reason that it's having you check 1922 first is the system's completely plugged when you log in 1922, so it's going to start giving you directions where to go. And then once you get on the way of what you need to do first with the 1922, then you'll go to the 3375, which is kind of a long tree that has you checking a lot of stuff. So the fault analyzer is a great tool. Use it, and it'll help you to get started in the right direction. Thanks for joining me.